Good morning, my name is Mentally Diapodisa. This is 5 Minutes of Community Clarity at the KI EcoCenter. And this morning I'm here speaking with Miss
Cordelia Lewis Burkes.
Miss Burkes, could you please just give us some information about who you are and some of your background?
Well, as I indicated, I used to hang my jacket in here because I worked part-time for the supermarkets that used to be here. But I've lived in the community since 1960, and I've resided in my home at 2943 North Kenwood since 1969. I used to be president of the PTA over here at the school across the street. I had 2 children who attended that school prior to its closing. And I also serve as the vice chair of the Indiana Democratic Party, a member of the Democratic National Committee. I am very involved in politics, and I was the first superdelegate for candidate Barack Obama when he ran for president. I wear many hats in the neighborhood. I'm a member of the board of trustees for the Children's Museum. I retired from my position with the International Union in Washington in 2005. I was Director of Politics and Legislation for AFSCME International Union. And I was the first African American hired by the Indiana AFL-CIO back in 1980. So my service and my professional life turns many corners and with many organizations. I've worked a board of directors of the United Way of Central Indiana and the board of directors for the Association of United Ways and several other groups. We won't go on because this interview is only 5 minutes long.
What do you envision is 3 of the most pressing issues the community currently faces?
For one thing, as I indicated, I am very involved in politics, and I am also a precinct commitment here in this very precinct where we sit. One of my biggest problems with our community is that we don't understand that our livelihood depends on the vote, getting out and voting. You know, everything we do in our life has to do with politics. From the street being paved, which ours are not, to the lights that we turn on every day when we go into our homes, the water, all of this is about politics. And my community does not understand that. I have spent 50 years of my life trying to get that message to our community. The other is that we don't seem to have a lot of pride in where we live. As I said, I live at the 2900 block of North Kenwood, and the people who walk up and down the street, drive up and down the street, will discard their trash without giving it a thought in my yard and all in our community. So that we have no community pride. Many of us, I will not generalize, but that is what I have seen since I've lived in the neighborhood. The third is that we don't get involved in our community. It does not seem to be a priority for us.
What do you envision are 3 benefits that the community has?
For me, I have decided to remain in this community because of I like to live close to where the action is, and I think the action is in our downtown area at our Indiana legislature, where I can get in touch with my state representative, or the city county building where I can get in touch with my city councilor, which I do that. That is one of the benefits of living in the neighborhood, and I have remained here for all of those years. As I said, I've been in the neighborhood since 1962, and I purchased my home in 1969, and I choose to remain at the 2900 block of North Kenwood.
One final question. If you could pick an impactful story that played out in your life that influenced the direction of your walk, what would that story be?
Well, the story actually probably would begin with my parents. I grew up in West Virginia, and I went to West Virginia State Public Schools, where I got an excellent education. I still go back to my high school reunion, wherever it is being held annually. But my parents, my father was a minister, pastor of a church, and my mother was an evangelist, and she was very active in our education, being our homeroom mother, which I succeeded to do for my children. And they expressed to us that we had to be involved in our community. We would sit down at the dinner table every evening and tell our parents what we had done for the day, and we never were able to come home without our books, because my father knew we had homework to do. My mother died when I was 11 years old, and I was the oldest of 5 children, the youngest being 2 weeks old. And I have had people who cared about me in my community. Even when I went to college, West Virginia State, the high school principal would call the dean's office to see how I was doing. So the caring and nurturing of my community when I grew up has always had an influence on my life.
All right, thank you, Ms. Burkes, for this interview.
Just do it, just do it, just do it, just do it. Yeah, I knew it.